Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to do a new what if for my 500 sub special. So, this new what if is actually going to be one that I've, been thinking since 450 subscribers. It was that or another one that I didn't do because I didn't actually have enough, it's part of the script on it. So that's going to come later. I'm not sure when precisely. But yeah, so this one is going to be what if Deku was the reincarnation of a demon lord. Kind of self-explanatory, but yeah, so Deku's power are going to be elemental control, basically control of the earth, water, fire, air, and everything else in that matter, like darkness, light can even be controlled. Light can allow him to become invisible or move faster, basically turning his body partially into light. You won't learn that until way later, so that won't really come in early. He can also make things that are invisible visible, but that's going to be a bit longer to learn as well. So other power he has is super strength, super speed. He will also have his special power, which is basically going to be referred as its quirk at first, because it's basically the first thing that's going to be. Any long-range attack that comes from a quirk or anything, so basically you could shoot him with a bullet, it's going to be thrown back towards you. Quirk, anything that isn't physical, basically, or things that are thrown directly, like if you can put fire around your fist and punch, it's going to hit Deku. But if you throw fire at him, the fire is going to be repelled, because that's been thrown at him. So that's basically one of the biggest thing basically that proves about his power, which is pretty interesting. Other thing is Deku directly has no memory of his previous life, which is basically me basically taking it and saying, yeah, we won't learn about what he did in the past. Well, he will not learn. I'm probably going to say multiple things about his past. Not sure if I will. It's just a maybe. But yeah. So so the background of Deku. He was a demon lord, basically in another world, who, this demon lord in particular, every time he dies, he gets reborn in a new body. No matter where it is, but basically, or in the same world, or in different worlds. Normally, the demon lord keeps his memory and full access to his power. But Deku was killed, the previous incarnation of Deku was actually killed a bit wrong. Well, for him. Deku was killed by a special item that normally is able to seal a demon lord. If you can see where this is going, Deku's soul wasn't trapped, but all of its memory and all of the accumulated power has been. So he has to learn everything from scrap. And by scrap, I truly mean from scrap. He's got nothing of his past memory, and the only thing he has is his power of control over elements and his special ability, which will have to grow again. Because, for all of the elements, he has to learn them and how to use them. The ability to send back anything is activated from the start. The problem is, if you're able to send something that is stronger than that power, which is directly tied with his physical strength, defense, and stamina, so if he's exhausted, yeah, you're going to be able to attack him from afar, but from close range, yeah, no, that's a bit different. If you attack him from close range anytime, he's going to get hurt by it, but that's basically the point. So yeah, he's not invincible, just you have to know how to defeat him. So basically, if All Might threw a punch, the air pressure that he's sending would be sent back. Exactly the same strength, to be perfectly clear, so no, it's 10 times stronger, like, let's say, Meliodas' power. So it's not anything crazy like that, it's just basically throw it back. So if you have the time to move out of the way from where you came when you attack him, yeah, you're basically safe. But that's basically the only reason this Deku won't be too overpowered. He needs to build strength. So he was born from Inko, and Deku's father, always forget his name. His name is Midoriya, just like in the original, but from birth, the capacity to send back anything that comes from a long-range attack is sent back with the same amount of force. Which at first it didn't really find until he was 2, when a kid basically, they went to the park and some kids basically asked him to play ball with him. One of the kids threw the ball too hard, Deku wasn't able to catch it, and it was going for him, and his power activated for the first time. Throwing the ball back with the same strength back to the kid. Everyone was amazed because, whoa, he's so young and he already has his quirk. So they went to the quirk doctor. He has the bone missing from his toe, so they think it is his quirk. Even though it's not really a quirk, but still. So they basically take it as his quirk is that, and they call his quirk Sandback. Basically anything, as long as he has energy, anything that you throw at him, as long as it doesn't exceed too much his own strength, will be sent back straight at you. So they basically tell Inko that his power will be able to increase with training his body mostly. So Deku basically hears that and decides that he's going to train a lot. Because he wants to be a hero. He doesn't have the memory of his evil lives. So, hero. So, when he first arrived at his school, all for the first year, he basically explained his quirk. Which Bakugo, even though, well, no, let's say just another kid basically decided to try it and just threw at him an eraser or a pencil or something, and it basically got deflected, with everyone being amazed. Deku basically started thinking that he is one of the best at first, until Bakugo get his quirk, tries to fight Deku. The explosion gets thrown back, but the punches aren't. Which makes Deku realize that I'm not invincible. I can still be hurt. So he grows up humble. So, firstly, since Deku and Bakugo grow together, Bakugo basically gets the same thing. He grows up humble because he knows someone can defeat him. At one point, while Deku and Bakugo are around 8 or so, for the first time, Deku tries to basically go around the attack that Bakugo throws at him. What he wanted to do was literally just go around it, but didn't have time to do it. He still was ready to take the hit because he knew it was going to be sent back, but when it was about to be sent back, Deku basically moved his hand in front of his face, and suddenly the fire just kind of went around him. Well, not really the fire, but the explosion. With everyone seeing that, Deku mostly. Bakugo asked him how he did that, because it was the first time he didn't activate his quirk to basically use it and deflect. And Deku just said that it was something else. He asked Bakugo to throw him at another explosion and tried to do the same thing. Push it away. And it worked again. Which they thought, oh, you're able to control the way, well, the place where it's being used, and able to push it away from there. Basically, for like a month or two, they thought it was that, until basically other things happened. Like, let's say Bakugo basically just put something on fire by accident. Deku basically, well, the way it happened was basically they were in the middle of a forest, and by accident the Bakugo caught a tree on fire. Problem is they were playing around and were running away from there, so they didn't see the fire at first, until it was too late. Fire was around, everyone was basically scared. It was Bakugo, Deku, and some of their friends, and then suddenly there was flame going straight for Deku and Bakugo. Deku placed himself in front of Bakugo, thinking, I'm going to be able to just send it back. But instead, he basically just wanted to protect him, Bakugo, and was basically just kind of saying, throw it back, and before it even hits Deku's barrier that sends back everything, the fire basically starts moving the other way, and basically starts calming down. Deku then thought of something. Wait, what if what I'm doing isn't pushing my barrier? What if all I'm doing is controlling the fire? And basically started thinking, as well as moving his hand, close it, close it, close it. But, well, extinguish it. And it basically was doing it. Which Bakugo didn't realize that he can control fire. That's what he was doing. And basically makes Deku realize that he might have more to his core than just sending back stuff. So after basically learning that he could do that, he started to try with everything, see if he could control it. And over the course of, well, all of the time until he's around 14, basically around a month before he meets All Might, he discovered his ability to control all of the elements. Light, shadow, fire, water, ice, plants, thunder, electricity, same thing but still, wind, and everything like that. And Bakugo knows about that, so he trained a whole lot as well. In itself, his explosions are around, let's say the point of the license exam, which is pretty big. So, they basically are classed as the two strongest people of the school. Like, even teachers are afraid of them at that point. Because Deku can literally create fire, make balls of water, take the earth around you and basically smash you with it. He can make electricity, he can freeze stuff as well as control ice. He can make a tornado, not that big for now, but still pretty big. Because basically he trained every aspect, every element, and everything. With Shadow, he can basically give it form, and basically make it kind of tangible. Basically what it does isn't truly something like, it won't be able to punch you, but basically it's as if you're moving in water, for now. For light, the max that he's able to do is basically making a laser. That's pretty strong, but basically if you throw it at a person, you're going to burn their flesh, but it's not really going to pass right through it, and it can take a bit of a while to do stuff. It can catch stuff on fire pretty easily, but yeah. He can also make light go around him so he can be invisible. So that's one thing that's pretty cool. So he can literally go in stealth mode. And basically take all his elements and make it strong. So Deku basically learned all of those, and by the time that the teacher tells about what do you want to do when you're older, Bakugo and Deku are basically just looked upon as those two god children, basically, because of how strong they are compared to normal kids. So they basically get ready to go to UA, and Deku goes to sorry about that. Deku basically goes by the same way he went where he was attacked by the sludge villain. In contrast, when the sludge will attack him, deku basically just used the water inside of it to basically keep it away, making sure that it would not hurt him, to make sure that he was perfectly fine. All Might arrived and saw, well, a kid basically controlling the villain, and basically just used it to make it go around. So, okay, so All Might asked the kid, well, Deku, if he was okay. Deku said yeah, and then explained that he's just controlling the water inside of it to basically make him float, which made All Might pretty impressed with his power. Deku then asked him where he wants him to put the villain, which All Might basically grabs a bottle and tell him to just put it in there, which Deku does. All Might tells him bye, and he leaves. So Deku will not get one for all. Actually, Mirio will in this one, the original person that was going to get it. So after that, and that 10 months of training, Deku here it is. So Deku basically goes to train every day. Bakugo does the same but on his own, and both of them basically both of them increase their power, strength, and control of their ability extremely well. Bakugo's power basically gets increased by around, I said he was about license exam strength. Increase that by about 10% in 10 months. Basically, he's not training 24/7, he's only training partially. Basically trying to mostly be in the books, because he really doesn't want to lose going to UA, so he's basically mostly doing that. While Deku's basically doing the same thing, so yeah. I'm not going to do the entrance exam in this part. 2 reasons. First, it's actually going to be quite short, so I'm going to put it with the 2 tests to basically make part 2. Well, part 1, because this one is basically the explanation of what Deku has. But yeah, so Deku will go to the entrance exam in the next part. That is or going to be tomorrow or the day after that. Tonight I do my next part of Generator Rex Deku, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, so hope you liked it. Leave a like if you did. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you ask me to, I'm going to make a list of every element he controls as well. So yeah. So hope you liked it. Natsu. Oh yeah, also I'm going to leave a link to my Discord in the description. So yeah, Natsu out.